Good morning, guys. Well, it's the 8th of October and I haven't been here very much lately, as you know, and I can only apologise that you've had no videos, but things are now back to normal, and as of today I'm free to get my time back. I won't go into too long about what's gone on, but I had a few issues that I needed to get resolved. I've had some other stuff going on, and I had some things I've had to do with the family and everything else. Moved my brother yesterday, so you know, it's been quite a busy period. I did manage to get up here at some point last week, and as you can see, the mound of wood chip behind me pretty much gone, and that's now spread out all over the chickens in preparation for the winter. I'll need to get some more, and I'll turn you around and show you that. You'll have to excuse me sniffing because I'm absolutely full up with a cold. But today we're going to get in the polytunnel and sort that out, because that is an absolute mess in it when all the tomatoes got cut down by whoever went in and took the wheelbarrow, and obviously things have started going over and what have you. So we're going to get in there and sort that out today. We're also going to be collecting some seed from plants. The idea this year was to grow things on and allow them to go to seed. Well, fortunately for us, we were able to get all the produce out here, even though I haven't been here, and it's gone to seed. So it's in a mess, as you can imagine. There's been a turnaround with the wheelbarrow issue as well. I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to turn you around. Bear with me a second. Okay, as you can see, I come up here this morning and look what's over there. My wheelbarrow has just miraculously turned up, dumped on the floor there. Now, obviously, I'm assuming that whoever took it, they went back in through there. You can see where the tape is off. I haven't got to put the polytunnel tape on it yet, that Dale so kindly sent me, mainly because I haven't been here, but that is going to get on there before the winter. Because the state of the plot, you can't even see a path on there. It's that bad. And those who are regular viewers will know my plot's never like this. But a few weeks' time it'll all be sorted and we'll be right. But I've got my wheelbarrow back. I don't know what happened, but whoever it was are obviously viewing, because they've seen that I've put a video on it. There's been a few turnarounds as well. We've had the secretary and everything of the allotment has obviously got a bit fed up and they've quit. So we've got Phil and Lynn and now the new secretaries here. So they're going to be managing things from day to day, and obviously one of the things that was brought up was the amount of theft that's going on the plots and things like that. And this was on Sunday, this meeting, and miraculously I've come up here today, which is Wednesday, and my wheelbarrow is back. So it's obviously someone off the plot, because you don't get things back if they're stolen out of the way. But whoever it is, still went in the polytunnel, still cut all my tomatoes down and everything else. So we've got to address that. Anyway, I'll come back to you. I'm waiting for Tina to bring my tripod up. That's why I'm walking around with you at the moment. But I'll give you a quick show you a quick look at what's going on here. As you can see, everything is just totally overgrown. These are our strawberry beds, and look at them. It's just runners all over them. You can't see any of the bed in there. You can't see any of the path down there. It's just all gone. So there's our wood chip paths here. Because I haven't been here pulling out the weeds, this is what happens, guys. This is what I was saying on earlier in the year. If you don't keep that hoe moving, this is what happens. This was the spud bed. Believe it or not, I cut all the holes off because we had a little bit of blight on them, and we didn't even take any of the spuds out, and this is what's grown over the top of it. So everything's gone nuts. We harvested the pumpkins, the soramaros. Oh look, there's another one that's just appeared out of it since harvesting the last one, so we'll take that home. For those of you who've asked for seeds, I've got some seeds left from Dan that he gave me last year, and I'll try and send some of them out. But the 3 marrows I had here, I can't give you seeds out of, and the simple reason being is I donated them to the Huggard Centre, which is like a homeless place, and they were able to make food out of them for the homeless. So so unfortunately I didn't have the seeds to keep. The idea though, like I said, I do have some other seeds left over from Dan, so I'll send out a couple. It won't be a lot, it'll probably be 1 or 2 seeds, but it should get you going for those who asked, okay? Anybody else who asks now, unfortunately I'm not going to have enough seed to do, so there's no point sending in asking for those. As you can see, the French beans were left to go over, and we need to now harvest those ready. The leeks are doing superb. These were put in after the potatoes were taken out of this bed, and look at them, massive. A little bit of rust on some of them, but the leek itself is fine, so they're doing really well. Quite a few stingies in there. I don't know what the hell that is. It looks like a sunflower has just appeared out of nowhere, but like I said, I'm relatively happy with what's going on. Once we trim all this grass down and pull up the stingies and stuff we could get with sorting our beds out and what have you, and then we'll be right. I've got a butternut squash there which I need to pull up, and like I said, I know I'm rambling on here a minute, but we've got tons and tons and tons to do. The herb bed has gone nuts, as you can see. A lot of it's gone over now, but this parsley will take and freeze in ice cubes and things like that to use. Some of the sage we'll probably cut back for some things, but I mean, give you some sort of idea, guys. Look at all these runners. Now, a couple of weeks back I visited a gentleman called oh god, excuse me, his name escapes me now. I'll come back to that now when I remember his name. On here, as you can see, it's all nice and dry now, so we're going to take some of these. This is all broccoli seed. The whole plant is all broccoli seed, so we're going to pull a load of that off today, and then the rest of it can go. Down here, all this is radish seed. Okay, so we'll pull some of these and we'll dry them over in the polytunnel or something, and then we'll use those as well next year. So although things, you know, we've got some good kale and stuff, so you know, the tops of them, the bottoms have been ravished by bugs and stuff like that, but the tops are all throwing out new stuff, so we'll make the most of that. There's more broccoli seed here. Again, we won't be eating that. We've got some more kale here. The Cavadanero down there, we'll harvest the tops off, and we'll harvest some of this as well. It's starting to go over, so I want to get it out. This is what happens with the broccoli plant, guys. As you can see, this one was a broccoli plant. Initially what happens, the broccoli itself, which is here, will bolt, and it'll then throw out these flower spikes. Those flower spikes then turn into these, okay, which are the seed heads, which then fatten up. So on this one plant you have every single head, and then they turn this dark brown colour, and then that's your seed then ready for next year. So that's what we will be doing this later on this year. Excuse me. We've still got raspberries coming along. We've done really well on raspberries this year. Okay, you can hardly see the pond, it's buried back there, but gives us something to do through the winter, guys, so it's all good. You know, I'm happy the way the plot produced and everything else. Down here we have some beans. This is perfect now for harvesting, to ready for next year for seed. The other thing you can do with them is dry them off, and you can use them in casseroles and things like that, so they'll all be sorted out for that. So really this year, this next few months is going to be a case of sorting out this bed. I took the parsnips out of here. Some of you may have seen a photograph of one of the parsnips on the Google Plus page, but I'll show you the what we've had out of the rest of it. So as you can see, it's a mess. It's going to take its time to sort out, but you know, this time next, you know, in the next couple of months we'll be right. I'm going to move the wheelbarrow. Anyway, whoever brought it back, thank you very much. Please don't borrow it again without asking. Obviously you must be a viewer, or it may be something that's, because I know there's quite a lot of people up here who view, but oh, there's been a thing as well. As you can see over there, the chickens are out, and we put the bark chip. I still got a load here they've got to take across, but there's a load of bark chip over there. Chickens are all nice and happy. I came up here this morning and lo and behold I had 5 eggs, so it's happening. All we're doing here, guys, as you've seen already, we're just ripping out all of this stuff, getting it out, and we can then dig the beds over. I've made sure they're very dry before doing it, and that way then, as you can see, the roots come out easy, and I'm not battling with getting it absolutely, you know, clodges of, I'm not losing soil and getting loads of clodges and stuff like that. I'm just getting the root itself, which will help it break down better anyway. So but we've got quite a bit of cut grass come through despite doing that, but all in all the plants have done really well. But we'll dig these through now, and we'll pull the cut grass out, but for now I just want to get them empty on the top. I'm saying it's cut grass, it looks like it, but I'm not particularly sure. It might just be roots. So all we're doing now at the moment, like I said, is pulling this lot out. I know you don't want to watch me doing this all day, so I'll come back and forth as I've got something else to show you. Otherwise this video is going to really hark on, yeah, they're roots they are, guys, off these things, so that's alright. But yeah, it's all good. Get these beds prepared now, ready for next year. We're going to try a few new things next year, see how we go. Right, well, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay guys, excuse the shaking, I'm having to use my phone because the battery on the camera ran out. Like a donkey, I didn't charge it, and so I've got to finish up videoing with the phone. So as you can see, this bed now been dug over, and we'll get some fertilisers, manure or whatever on the top of this now. It needs a good watering because it's very dry, and I've left it all dry on purpose so to make this job easier. And it's taken me about 45 minutes to pull it all from like that to like this, and there's not a weed in it. As you can see, that fork is down a good fork's depth, no problem. Excuse me sniffing. And this is what I'm trying to explain to you earlier on in the year, guys, when I was doing all the trommel work and everything else, putting that preparation in. I haven't been here all year practically, as you guys know, and I've still had massive crops. As you can see over there, there's all the tomatoes that have started rotting after the guy who took the wheelbarrow came in, cut all the strings and everything else. That's what they got like, because I weren't here picking them out. After I cut them up at 6 feet, they just threw out all the side shoots and everything else. But like I said, so this is what we're going to do now. We'll get some manures and stuff on this bed, we'll water that on, and we'll put some straw and stuff in it. We won't bother covering it over because obviously it's inside, but and we may even plant something in it yet, we don't know. But this year I'm looking at possibly doing an underground watering system in here, rather than overhead, because it just gets wasted. And I've got quite a lot of sort of 12mm black pipe which I could drill holes in and just literally run a tube around the bed in like a circular fashion. I don't quite know, you know, how well it'd work. I'll have to test it outside first, put it in, and that's the idea about jobs like this, guys. Do it in the winter, and then you know it's going to work in the spring and the summer. I can bury it down, and what it will do, it'll just soak underneath. The top will be nice and dry, so it's going to stop the things like the blights and stuff like that. But also, all I've got to do is come in here and hook the hose up to it from one of the water barrels and let it run for a minute or two, and hopefully then that ground should be moist enough. And so I'm going to get on with this one now. Now we've got some Moruga here. I might not come back to you today now, it's again a long enough video, and like I said, I'm up here tomorrow, so it's not a problem. But I mean, these are our Morugas. They've done really well. There's quite a few on here. We've pulled off a few already, and there are loads of flowers and stuff already still on here, and smaller plants. So I don't know, I'm going to try and keep this plant over winter, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to try something new. And this one, because this one done loads, and this is our Carolina Reaper. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave these two plants in situ. Now, I know anything below 16 degrees, we usually kill these plants off, okay? If they die, they die, but I just don't have room at home to store two plants that are 3.5 feet tall and basically bushes. But if they did manage to overwinter, I'll just keep cutting them back as and when I need to. I'll put all the windows back in the polytunnel later on, and if they do manage to overwinter this year, if we have another mild one like last year, then next year they're going to be absolutely massive plants, and we should get massive yields from them. So we'll see what we can do with those two. Everything else though is going to come out, and we'll plant in a couple of other chilies along this side. And we'll have done with that then for chilies. We're not having a whole bed like this year, because we don't need them. It's more of a fun factor for me. But these chilies on here, I'll keep some seeds off. I mean, look at the flowers that are still on them. It's crazy. The lemongrass didn't come out to a lot. It died, obviously. It's not going to help. But we're going to get in here now. We're going to rip out some of the tomatoes. And things like that, get them out. I'm going to save some of the tomatoes for seed, because we didn't use any F1 varieties. I mean, we've still got cucumbers growing, as you can see down there. So, but that's going to be it for today's video, I think, guys. To be honest with you, it's about 2 o'clock. I'm staying up here, but like I said, without the camera battery, I don't want to be using my phone and find that I need it and I've got no battery to use it. So that'll be it for today. Like I said, we've got one bed. I'll make a start on that tomato bed, and then we'll have a look at it again tomorrow and see where we are from there. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out these plants, these few plants by here that have got all this seed on it, because I don't want that going into the beds. So I'll do that now, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode, because I'm going to be doing quite a few episodes over the next week or so, because I'm off work. So and I suppose it's a bit of a way of saying, you know, thanks for sticking with me while I've not been posting. Okay guys, it's the end of the day now. It's getting on. It's about 4 o'clock, I think. We've done this bed over, and all the tomatoes are now out, and this is all dug over as well. We've put in all the windows back in, because since we've taken the tomatoes down, this breeze is coming through it quite rapidly. So all this has been dug over. Out that whole bed, the only weed we had was this, and most of it's off the tomatoes. So that's good. It's obviously doing its job as far as keeping out the weeds. Obviously we've got to do a lot of clean up. We need to add some stuff to this again. Earlier on in the video, I know I was saying I was going, but it's just the end of the day. It don't matter whether or not I use my phone now or not. The gentleman I was speaking about, his name is Philip Vowles. He currently holds, I think, about 4 or 5 world records for fruit and veg. He lives not far from me, so I paid him a visit a couple of weeks back, and got to chat with him and had some seed from him for marrows and pumpkins and sunflowers, things like that. He holds a record for the longest cucumber. the biggest marrow, I believe, and also the pumpkins. So, but he's doing well. I think he's got the biggest carrot record and things like that. So I'll be having a chat with him throughout the year again. And I went down, took some advice from him on how he's growing things as far as the marrows go. Like you guys know, we had the 52 pounder, but next year I want to go for a 100 pounder, and let's see what we can do from there. You know, Dan had an awesome marrow this year, and I want to be able to get some sort of things like that. So anyway, that's it for today. Like I said, we've cleaned out all this side now. It needs a good washing down. You can see where all the grass has been and things, but all down here is done, and this bed here, so that's half the polytunnel sorted. We'll get through this one and that side possibly tomorrow or the day after now, and then we'll be right. At least the polytunnel will be more or less done. We'll get some manure on them, and away we go. Anyway guys, that's it for today. I will speak to you shortly. We lost our hose. It was buried under all this crap on here, so but obviously now we've recovered it. So that's it today, and I will see you in the next episode. Cheers guys, bye.